Hey guys, this is Tracy Latono with Golden Rose Financial Coaching with Tracy's Tuesday Talks. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode on the scary side of debt relief programs. I've had a couple of wonderful conversations with people who are already in the process of working with relief programs. And I just wanted to dig into what it is, what it looks like, why people do it, and some facts that might make you think twice before going with the debt relief program. So, a debt relief program is basically a company that will say, hey, I will negotiate with collectors on your behalf and help settle your debt for less than what you owe. Sounds great up front. Somebody else making those phone calls and owing less than what, or paying less than what you think you owe. And what they do is they charge you a monthly fee, and they take that fee, they set it in a savings account, and then they call the collectors and say, hey, this person can't pay their bills and we want to settle with you. What will you like? Here's what we're willing to give you. So that's what a debt relief program essentially does. And a lot of people who seek out these programs are often feeling scared, overwhelmed, aren't sure what else to do. They just feel so buried and they don't see any other way out. Not quite wanting to go the bankruptcy route, but still not sure what else to do. So, what are some of the things with debt relief that you should be aware of? So, debt relief programs charge astronomical fees. Anywhere between 15 and 25% is the standard. I just had a conversation with a guy where this company was charging him 30% of what they said that they were going to settle. And that's thousands upon thousands of dollars just to make phone calls on your behalf. Um, Debt relief programs cover things that are unsecured debt. So things like credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, something that is not tangibly tied to the loan, such as your house or your car. So house payments, car payments, anything that can be repossessed or the loan is for the specific thing, that is not able to be part of the debt relief program. Student loans, nope, can't forgive them. Good old federal government, they want their money back. So typically what a debt relief program will do is they will tell you, hey, quit paying your bills. Stop paying your bills and pay us instead. So they will charge 450, 550, however much their monthly payment is. It's quite a bit. Um, and they'll sock it off into a savings account on your behalf, tell you to quit paying your bills. And what they're doing is they are building up income to basically go to these collectors and say, hey, this person's not paying their bills. Here's the X amount of dollars that will pay you. Do you want it? Yes. Awesome. Here you go. The rest is forgiven. Nope. You don't want it? Okay. We're going to come back again later. You don't get a penny. And the cycle continues. And typically these programs will settle for about on average 50%. That's a pretty good percentage that they'll settle for. And then typically the average is anywhere between 18 to 60 months. So a year and a half to 5 years to settle these debts, to play this game. All the while this is going on, you're getting phone calls still from the collectors. The companies tell you to ignore the collectors. That's a no-no. You want to communicate with them and let them know what's going on. Penalties and interest will still accrue on your debts. So your interest payment, your late fees, non-payment fees, all of that is still adding up on top of your debts that is going to be settled. You can still get sued for not paying your bills. The companies, the credit card companies can still come after you for litigation and still sue you for the amount that you owe. Just because it's in with a debt relief company does not give you any sort of legal protection. And you're still on the line for the debt. So you still owe it. It's not like it just goes away. And here's another thing. Any debt that is forgiven, the amount that wasn't paid is taxable. So for example, if you go to a debt relief program and you say, hey, here's $30,000 worth of credit card debt, and they settle it for 50 cents on the dollar, so for $15,000, you owe taxes like it's income tax on the other 15%. So if you make $50,000 a year, you get $15,000 of debt forgiven. You will be taxed that year like you made $65,000. So please talk to a tax consultant if this is something that you are in the process of doing or considering. You know how I feel about debt. I would just say, don't do it. And here's another thing to keep in mind. So if you do have that $30,000, let's use that as an example, and they charge you a 25% fee to make those phone calls and put it into a savings account on your behalf, you are paying them $7,500 to do work that you could do yourself. $7,500 that eats into that forgiveness that they say they can get you, which, by the way, is not a guarantee. Did you know that you can do the exact thing that these debt relief companies are doing yourself? Did you know that you can take control of your money and not hand off this problem to somebody else to fix? A lot of people who go through their debt relief programs go back again and again and again because it doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't work with mindset or behaviors with finances. So if you're wondering, man, and by the way, they trash your credit. So if you are one of those people who is concerned about your credit score, when they tell you to stop paying your bills, your credit goes in the toilets and you're screwed. Forgot to throw that part in there. So how can you do it yourself? Let's talk about this practically. First of all, and you hear me say this all the time, do a budget, follow a budget, not just a spending plan of here's the bills and here's what they owe, but tracking your transactions and giving a mission to every dollar that comes into your bank account, as well as knowing where your money is going. That is going to allow you to be able to see where you're at and what you're able to do moving forward with paying these creditors. If you are truly in a position to where you cannot make minimum payments and there's just no way that you can make enough extra income, sell enough stuff, reduce your expenses to be able to pay your debts, there are things that you can do. You can actually call your creditors and be like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm facing hardship. Is there anything that you can do to work with me? I want to pay you, but right now I just cannot pay this much. They might ask you for your budget. They might ask you to submit that just so they can see like, okay, yeah, this guy's not just bluffing us. And I have seen so many people who have taken the initiative to call and talk to the credit card companies, like either have their minimum payments reduced or their interest rates set for 0% for a period of time or reduced. And that gave them some breathing room to be able to pay these people and work out a repayment plan with the company on their own, all while still being in control of their finances so they can pay the extra and they can still pay it off in a more timely manner than 5 years. And communication is key. So talking to these companies, call them up every 1 or 2 weeks. I've heard of people calling on every single Tuesday and Thursday till finally they recognized the number and said, yep, here we are with this, we gotcha, we understand. Communication is key. Be kind. They're just doing their jobs. And let them know, hey, I want to work with you. I want to pay you. So if you want some help or some guidance with having somebody walk alongside of you while you go through this process, while you're figuring out how to work with collectors, how you're working with getting out of a debt relief program, I would be honored to have a conversation with you. I help people with confidence and clarity, gain confidence and clarity with their finances to achieve financial freedom. I work with people's mindsets and behaviors with their finances, help them envision what they want for their financial future, and help them get the roadmap tools and accountability to get there. And it would be an honor to have a conversation with you. So feel free to click on the link below to get that on the calendar, and I would love to be able to serve you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.